It was after lights out when the crying started. It was faint at first, like a baby somewhere behind the hostel. Everybody froze. No one wanted to admit that they had heard it. But the sound won't stop. Tayo whispered, maybe somebody dumped a baby behind the fence. Her roommates begged her not to go. Tayo, please, I think it's a bush baby, one of them said. Don't even open that window. But Tayo was stubborn. She started laughing. She said, you people are too superstitious. She pulled out her slippers and she walked out. She was gone for almost 20 minutes. When she came back, her face was a bit pale and she was holding a small mat. Brown, frayed, old, damp at the edges. She said, I didn't see any baby, but I found this. Maybe it's the blanket that the baby was wrapped in. The seniors in the next room, they rushed in when they saw what she was holding, and one of them snatched it from her hand. Are you mad? You brought it inside? That's a bush baby mat. The room went silent. Tayo did not understand. So they told her the old story, that if you ever touch the mat, you must keep it hidden for 7 nights without the creature finding it. If you are successful, you will be extremely rich. But if it finds that mat before day 7 is over, you die. Best plan is to hide it in different locations every night. Nobody could sleep that night. They hid the mat behind the kitchen store. The next day, they moved it under the staircase. Then another day, they moved it under the water tank. A different spot each day, just like the senior had said. Every night, the crying returned. Louder, closer. By the 6th night, even the cook said that they had heard it. On the 7th night, the crying stopped. Morning came, Tayo's bed was empty. The mat was gone too. The whole school searched. They searched the compound, the classrooms, bush path, even the pit behind the kitchen. People searched. Nothing. And that night, when the hostel finally went quiet again, somebody swore that they heard a baby giggle. Soft, satisfied, somewhere out in the bush. That was the last time that anyone saw Tayo. Nomsa always slept on the top bunk, not because she liked it, but because the lower bunk always terrified her. When she first arrived at her aunt's house in Soweto, she had noticed that all the beds there were standing on bricks. Even the sofa had blocks under its legs. She laughed about it at dinner, but her aunt didn't laugh. The aunt said, people die when they sleep too close to the ground. She said, that's how the Tokoloshi finds them. Nomsa, she didn't believe in such things, like, come on. She had grown up in the city and not in this small village. It's not the kind to fear small invisible goblins. But that first week, she started hearing things. Tiny footsteps in the corridor. Soft giggles near her ear when she was half asleep. Once she woke up to find her blanket pulled tightly around her neck, but she told herself, I'm just imagining all this. Then one night, she forgot to put her bed on bricks after she washed the floor in the room. That was the night that she woke up choking. Something heavy sat on her chest. She couldn't scream. She couldn't move. She only watched as her lamp, the light in her room, flickered by itself. She forced her eyes shut, praying. When she opened them again, the weight was gone. But the room smelled like a wet dog. The next morning, her aunt came in and she saw the bed flat on the floor. She just burst into tears. She said, you let it in. You've invited the Tokoloshi into our home. For days after that, Nomsa's cousins, they sprinkled salt in the corners of all the rooms. They burned herbs around the house. The old women said that the creature had been sent by somebody jealous. That Tokoloshi is never born by itself. It is called, it is sent, it is fed. Nomsa never saw it again, but sometimes in the middle of the night, she hears scratching beneath the bed. Just soft enough to make her wonder if she raised her bed high enough this time. It started with a death. A woman 3 houses away. She was found dead in her bed at dawn. Her eyes were wide open. Her mouth was frozen mid-scream. Neighbors said that they had heard knocking on her door the night before. A voice calling her name. And she had opened the door. That evening, everybody on the street was terrified. Luyanda's aunt, she handed her chalk. She said, before it gets dark, go outside and go and write these words on our door, where she can see them. Write it up. Luyanda hesitated. What's this woman talking about? Who can see them? The aunt is like, the woman who knocks. They go and write these words. She went out quickly. Her heart was racing. She was so scared. And on the wooden door, she wrote, come tomorrow. Her aunt finally told her the story later. Long ago, a witch had died here. She was said to have loved attention. Even in death, she roamed at night, knocking on doors, calling people by name. If you answered, she entered. She came in wearing the face of someone you loved. By morning, you were gone. The only thing that stopped her was a message that she had to obey. Come tomorrow. So every house, even though they forgot a lot, but every house has to write it before nightfall on their door. Come tomorrow. When midnight came, the knocks began. Tap, tap, tap. Then a soft voice. Luyanda, open the door, it's me. It was her late mother's voice. Her aunt gripped her hand. Don't speak, don't move, that's not your mom. The voice called again. Closer, softer. Then it faded. By dawn, the streets were silent. Luyanda opened the front door in the morning. The chalk was smeared, dragged down as if a wet hand had tried to wipe it away. Beside the frame was a long, muddy handprint leaning towards the road. That night, the knock started again at the next house. And that's how she travels. The witch who hates being ignored, moving door to door, name to name, waiting for one person who has forgotten to write come tomorrow to open the door. Akin was driving home after midnight. The bridge was almost empty. Lagos looked peaceful from up here. The city lights were trembling over the water. It was beautiful. Then he saw her, a woman in white, standing by the rail. Her hair was long, dripping wet. There was light shining on her from a passing truck. She was barefoot, shivering. Was she cold? Why was she wet? He slowed down. Madam, are you okay? She didn't answer. She just looked at him. And for a second, he forgot where he was. This woman was beautiful. The kind that makes you forget to be afraid. Before he could think twice, she opened the back door and she entered his car. Water was pooling on the seat because she was soaked. He said, where to? Her voice was calm, almost musical. Just drive. As he drove, the smell of the lagoon filled the car. Salt, mud, something sweet. He glanced in the mirror. She was staring out of the window. Her lips were moving as if she was whispering something to the water outside. Halfway across, she spoke again. People forget. This water feeds them. Then they dirty it. They don't greet it. They don't fear it. Akin swallowed. Ma, who are you? Owner of the lagoon, she said. Sometimes kind, sometimes not. He blinked. Akin looked in the mirror again. She was gone. The door never opened. Only a dark wet puddle was on the seat, on his back seat. The next morning, Akin told his aunt in Makoko, told her everything that had happened. She didn't laugh. She took him to the edge of the lagoon with a calabash of palm oil and fish. She said, Akin, you met her, the lady of the lagoon. Many call her Mami Water. She blesses those who respect her, but if you mock her, she will claim you. Sometimes a fisherman, sometimes a driver who thinks night water is ordinary. They poured the offering and they prayed. The water rippled once and then went still. That night, Akin drove over the bridge again. He kept his eyes forward this time, windows up, hands tight on the wheel. But when the city lights flickered across the water, he quietly whispered, "Good evening, ma," just out into the air, just in case she was listening. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you like stories like this, please follow me. I tell these stories all the time on all my social media. Thank you.